Deathly Hallows Part 2 has finally made its way back into LEGO form with the brand new Hogwarts Room of Requirement. Yes, technically we did get this location a couple of years ago, however there is a new Hogwarts castle system now and it's also based off a new movie, so by that logic please, I will take a brand new Quidditch pitch. This is set 76413 and will release on March 1st for 80 Australian dollars, 50 US dollars and 45 Great British pounds. This is the latest segment of the Hogwarts modular style castle, and while I don't particularly love that system, this is definitely a lot better than I thought it would be. The set comes with 5 minifigures, starting off with Harry Potter, who I have very mixed feelings on. His torso print I think looks fantastic and is spot on for what I pictured his Battle of Hogwarts outfit to be. However, the bright blue legs really don't work at all. Personally, I think it's far too colourful for such a dark and gloomy movie, and while dark blue would have matched the torso too much, personally that's something I would have preferred, and I will be swapping the legs out on mine. Next up is Hermione, who is the biggest letdown of the set for me. Her torso, like Harry's legs, is far too bright and really does not look like denim. Personally, I think the one from the Dimensions packs looks a lot closer color-wise, though the print on this newer one looks fantastic. I really just wish they used a different colored piece. I also wish that they gave her a new hairpiece or even recolored the Barbara Gordon hair, because I think that would look far more accurate, and as much as I love this piece, it just doesn't quite suit the scene. Draco reuses the same torso as the Collector's Edition Hogwarts Express, however this time he comes with his brand new head print. The scared alternate face on this looks so good, especially within the context of the set. I just think it matches the scene perfectly. And lastly is Blazabini, who just has the very basic Slytherin sweatshirt on, as well as some black legs and his brand new face print, as well as bringing back the falcon hair, which I think looks really good, but it also means that we only get one side of a face print for him. The Grey Lady makes her debut and by far is the best minifigure of this set. She is made using a mixture of grey and white pieces, as it looks like LEGO have ditched the glow-in-the-dark method from the Chamber of Secrets set that they did recently with Nearly Headless Nick. Her hair is a recolor of Luna Lovegoods, and her dress also comes with some great printing on both the torso and the dress piece. On the dress piece, however, the printing is only on the front, which honestly I don't think matters that much, as it would have been very basic on the back anyway. Her head looks amazing too with the metallic prints, and the angry face is a perfect recreation from the movie, especially considering how much that face scared me when watching the movie. Like I said, I personally don't really like this Hogwarts castle style system all too much, outside of the fact that it makes the interiors feel a lot more alive, and honestly I thought this set was going to be no different. However, it has entirely surprised me. I would even go as far to say that the Room of Requirement is probably now my favorite of this newer system. The exterior on this set is by far the most interesting and most creative build-wise out of all of the modular Hogwarts castle systems, and the interior too didn't feel as empty as I anticipated it to be when looking at the product images. In total, this set is 3 floors tall, with 2 of them being just for the Room of Requirement section, and contains a variety of different pieces that you can mix and match with your previous Hogwarts castle models. The roof pieces are basically just empty standing space at this point. However, I do like the way that they're designed. They still feel similar and will match the other roof pieces, but none of them are replicated in any way. That being said, this tower especially is the highlight for me. I love this entire side section and the way that it was done. Firstly, by having a tower piece or even a roof piece attached to the side of the castle is something that they haven't done before with this system, and I absolutely love to see it. It is really well integrated as well in the set. It's actually just attached by one Technic piece, as well as these little hook pieces, and I thought it was going to be really weak and a little bit flimsy. I mean, it does wobble a little bit side to side and doesn't feel as secure as maybe a couple of other pieces did, but it is such a really clever way of integrating a build into this set. When I was building this set as well, I did kind of get annoyed with all of the little empty gaps on the sides of the build, but once I built this piece, I suddenly understood why, as it allows you to basically move it around and attach it into a bunch of different areas and parts of the set, which I'm really glad about. Again, it just opens up so much more customization when it comes to piecing together your own Hogwarts castle. I personally think it adds a lot to the look of the castle and doesn't make the whole thing feel so two-dimensional as I have felt in the past, and it's something that I really hope is integrated into other future Hogwarts castle sets. Now when it comes to this set, they sort of combine 2 scenes and 2 locations in one, with the top half being a sort of Ravenclaw tower, I want to call it. However, it really doesn't represent the Ravenclaw tower at all. Quite literally all you get is this one random sink, which kind of is not very good for play. I mean, the exterior of this again looks fantastic, but there is really not a lot going on in here. There's a little bit of standing space, but you're really not going to use it all that much. much. The main portion though is the room of requirement itself, and this section surprised me a lot. The outside of this piece on its own really isn't too exciting. There is some inaccurate rock work, which I guess in the context of the room of requirement doesn't really match up, but as a piece of the grander Hogwarts collection, I think that rock work is gonna look really well and was definitely much needed. In typical room of requirement style as well, there are the sliding walls things. They aren't overall like too secure in my mind. I mean, they slide around a little bit and it kind of is hard to get it to line up perfectly with the doors, but the whole play feature works well enough that you'd be satisfied. Once they have slid away though, you will reveal the doors, which unfortunately these doors have 4 stickers each on them, and I did not have fun with these at all. I guess I really wasn't paying much attention at first because I stuck the stickers round the wrong way. Instead of doing them horizontally, I did it vertically, so I had to peel all 4 of them off and reapply them, which was really just a pain. And after I did the second one, I just looked at them and wished that it was 4 like all complete giant stickers. I feel like that would have been a much better solution, a lot less of a headache, and also would have stopped me from making the mistake I did. So something to note when building these, you should probably pay attention and not try and watch The Bad Batch at the same time. Heading up on the outside though, there are these 2 little candle designs on either side, which are just placed on top of some of those really cool like swirly brick pieces. And then at the very top there are 2 stickered Hogwarts crest panels, which the sticker on this is very new, it's very detailed, and overall looks pretty cool. But besides that, there really isn't too much going on outside of just the structural build of it, which does admittedly look really cool. Turning the building around though, and you can open this entire thing up. Firstly, you've got to remove that typical sort of structural integrity piece, as I like to call it, and then the entire thing opens up into a much longer, larger, and slightly thinner set. Similar to the Hogwarts banners and the Hogwarts Moments books as well, there are a bunch of little small builds that attach to the bottom just on jumper plates, so the whole thing can be folded away really nice and neatly, but also have a bunch of stuff taken out in order to create more of like a dollhouse playset type of thing. Once you take them all out though, to me it sort of looks more like the trophy cabinet than the room of requirement, purely because of the fact that these glass cases are sort of built into the pillars on the outside, but despite that it doesn't really feel out of place to me. If you look closely, there are a couple of transparent bars between the archways, which at first I thought that was going to be some sort of play feature, but honestly at this point I think it's more just to make this set really strong and pass LEGO's quality standards. And I think that this is a fantastic solution and way better than the giant white frames that they included in the astronomy tower to fix this same problem. Around the doors on the inside there are some awful to apply curved stickers which lead up into this really nice detailed sort of pillar archway. I think that this adds a lot to the set, as frustrating as those stickers were. And on either side of the door too, there is a broomstick as well as a little flame. The first of the mini builds in this set is the little flame dragon for the Friendfire spell, and it uses a really cool orange version of the basilisk head, and the rest of him is pretty much just built up using a mixture of brick built little sections as well as those giant tubes. The whole thing is built in a way too that it can be taken apart and placed all throughout the build using these Technic bricks so that the spell can pretty much take over the room just like in the movie and in the books. Next up is this stack of boxes and a chair. The chair legs are actually made from little superhero stands, which I think is such a cool way to top off this stack. And in the instructions too, it does say to place the diadem on the chair so that Harry can climb up and get it. There's also a slightly smaller stack which has an empty cupboard, a crate with a basilisk fang in it, as well as a little Cornish pixie on the top. And then lastly, there is a mini build of this little record player and a knight statue next to a flameless little candle. All of the builds just help basically to clutter up the room, and even when they're stored and not really taken apart and placed, it still has that same sort of messy feeling that the room of requirement should have. The rest of the build though does kind of feel a little bit empty, though I think it does have some really interesting just designs when it comes to like pillars and bricks and the use of all of the Technic joints, so it still feels really fresh and unique when you look at the Hogwarts castle system as a whole. I honestly thought I was going to be super disappointed with this set, and I am so glad to say that I have been pleasantly surprised instead. Look, the minifigures certainly could have done with a little bit more detailing, but the build itself on the other hand is one of the best modular Hogwarts castle sections yet. And even though the price on this set does feel a little bit too high, I don't think it's entirely unreasonable that you'll feel like you wasted your money if you paid full price. I really liked this set and I'm so excited to see what other Deathly Hallows sets we could get, but let me know your thoughts on this set down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and be sure to check out my other LEGO Harry Potter 2023 reviews on the end screen now.